protest tonight in Escondido advocating for immigration rights. ABC 10 News was there and spoke to a couple of protesters who are speaking out against the mass deportation of undocumented immigrants.
Most of the United States runs off of immigrants. It's not right for people to just sending our people back. We get this country going, and most people don't realize that.
The protesters say they want people from other countries to be treated as equals.
Concerns tonight that Marines, sailors, and National Guard members asked to assist with deportations are being exposed to decades of contamination. This is a story that we first brought you this morning. Sky 10 giving us the bird's eye view of the area the troops are stationed in. They are not only working there, they are also living in tents there, meaning that they're breathing in the gases released by sewage water and industrial waste. They are at the Border Patrol station just about a mile from what UC San Diego researchers consider a hot spot for contamination. Tonight, we follow through with those same researchers and others who have been advocating for an end to the crisis and the concerns about the impact this exposure will have on the troops.
If they're going to be out there for weeks, months on end, every night, that's when it becomes pretty alarming.
Ben Rico has been part of the team on the ground, scouting hot spots, testing both the water and the air in the South Bay, all while wearing respirators specifically designed for organic vapors and acidic gases, such as hydrosulfide, the gas released by sewage that smells like rotten eggs.
If you're right by the river every day for a couple months, maybe a few months, then it's cause for concern.
Issues for which we have already seen. What's the reality? What are you seeing? What's happening?
So that is the reality. Agents, when exposed to this water and soil, have experienced rashes and other health issues.
For the recent ABC 10 News special, Contaminated Coast, Border Patrol agents escorted me and my photographer to a restricted area right along the border, the same one they took me to back in 2017, for another report about toxic chemicals in the Tijuana River and its impact on agents protecting our border.
After working a 10-hour shift all night, just breathing in the air that kicks up off the soil and from the water, it can really cause a headache.
Agent Justin Casterone says they have safety precautions in place to try to mitigate the effects.
We have special filters put in our vehicles so we can have somewhat clean air filtered into the vehicle. Masks, we have N95 respirators available.
When we reached out to the Marines about keeping their personnel safe in this area, a spokesperson responded saying, quote, "We're taking all necessary precautions to ensure the safety of the Marines and sailors, including monitoring drinking water cleanliness with medical personnel on site."
The sailors and Marines are go-to people. When they get the call, they will answer and they will go do it. There's no questions asked. They will make that happen. But the reality is they don't even know how bad it is.
Former Imperial Beach Council member and Navy veteran Mark West saw how exposure to the contamination impacted some of his friends in the service.
Water quality testing wasn't that often, and they continually got sick. And then you'd have a lot of respiratory infections, a lot of late nasal infections.
They will get, the nausea, the headaches, confusion, maybe dizziness and stuff. And who knows about the long-term effects?
Tom Shinutti is a retired pediatrician who moved to IB along with his wife, Marvel Harrison, who have been featured in the past. Settling in at their beachfront home was a dream until the constant stench of contamination made it a nightmare.
In the last 2-3 years, it's gotten abysmally worse.
To the point where he says his wife was recently diagnosed with reactive airway disease, similar to asthma, which her doctors attribute to the sewage exposure.
It's not always going to be just a very acute, obvious toxicity, because it's kind of insidious and it'll take time, maybe, it may take months or years to show its effect.
He's been worried about exposure to local children and now service members stationed in the Tijuana River Valley.
They're here to do their job, and Marines in general are there to protect us and our country, and I'm not sure they're aware that they are being put in harm's way.
If you would like to learn more about the contamination crisis, its impact to the entire ecosystem of the South Bay, check out our ABC 10 News special, Contaminated Coast. You can scan the QR code on your screen or visit our homepage on 10news.com.
The front of this beloved Chula Vista guitar store is all boarded up after a driver ran through the front of it. And tonight, we'll hear from the owner.
And we are drying out with a warm-up on the way, but I'll be pinpointing our next chance for rain in your Super 7-day forecast.
Devastating destruction early Tuesday morning to a Chula Vista guitar store after a car crashed through the front of it. It cost 6 figures worth of damage.
And tonight, ABC 10 News reporter Tali Latoy spoke to the owner as they continue to clean up and try to move forward.
Now, this beloved guitar store down here in Chula Vista is all boarded up, as you can see behind me. But if you want to go in, you're going to have to go in through the back. Now, despite the hefty price tag to fix all of the damage inside of that store, the owner tells me you can always replace a guitar, but you can't replace a life. This surveillance footage shows the moment when a car crashed into the front of Mark's Guitar Exchange early Tuesday morning.
There was somebody called it in from across the street and said it sounded like a bomb went off.
Police say the driver fell asleep at the wheel. This is what's left of the storefront Wednesday. Boards now taking up most of it from top to bottom.
That's where the tire was running?
The owner of the longtime guitar store, Josh Augustin, explaining the damage left behind.
The person just had an episode where they went to sleep and went right through like a rocket.
A store once filled with only guitars, amps, and nearly anything you needed as a musician, now a cleanup site. But there's been an outpour of support from local vendors and the community to help.
There's been so many people, then we've had the back door open while we're in there. Everybody's like, how can I help? Our vendors community has been awesome.
And while he admits it's unfortunate and it'll take some time to fully get back to normal, Augustin says he's grateful because it could have been worse.
I mean, guitars are expensive. There's a monetary piece to that. I'm just happy that it happened at the time that it did, then nobody got hurt. I mean, you can replace guitars. I can't replace people.
Tali Latoy, ABC 10 News.
Now, the ABC 10 News Pinpoint Weather Super 7-day forecast.
Well, those clouds have rolled in as we look towards La Jolla. It is completely overcast right now as we look from Mount Soledad. We're seeing some fog in Ramona. So the visibility in Ramona over the last couple of hours has dropped down to half a mile at times. So there could still be some fog that's there that's kind of just moving around. It's also pretty chilly in Ramona. It's 38 degrees right now, 40s in El Cajon and Oceanside, 50 in Kearney Mesa, 56 degrees downtown. Tomorrow, not a big change in our temperatures compared to what we've been seeing. We're still trending a little bit below normal. In fact, we'll be in the 60s for most of the county, low 50s in Julian, Mount Lagoon and Palomar will be in the mid 40s, and then some of the cooler coast and inland neighborhoods like Del Mar and Alpine will actually top off in the 50s for at least one more day. But we do have warmer weather coming our way, so this high pressure ridge is going to be pushing that storm system that brought us the rain and the snow out of here. An atmospheric river, actually a couple, are going to be targeting Northern California for the end of the week and really ramping up this weekend. And it does look like one of those is going to dive south and bring us at least a chance for some rain by midweek next week. However, there remains some uncertainty. Not all of our weather models are completely in agreement. It's still a week out, but hopefully we'll get some rain. And at least right now, there's a chance for some rain coming our way. Along the coast, we're going to start off fairly mild, 50s and 40s to kick off the morning. By the afternoon, increasing sunshine and temperatures pretty close to 60 degrees. And then heading into next week, Wednesday, as of right now, is looking like the best chance for some showers. So dry conditions for the weekend, pretty nice for the weekend as well. And then that 24% chance for a little bit of rain by Wednesday. Sunday and Monday, the warmest days were 67 and 66 degrees along our coast, while inland neighborhoods will be in the mid